Hello,
Hi,
sir.
how are you?
How are you? Can you hear me? Am I audible?
Yeah, you're audible. Am I
Uh,
audible?
yeah, I'm just. So I came in and I was like, this is a sign of a true professional, always on time.
Yeah. I'm anyway, like not only for this, for all other things as well. I'm always before time. That
It's
anxiety of still being on time for everything is on, regardless of how many years of professionalism comes in. So yeah, I like to be on time.
yeah, and it's so important, right? I mean, because that's how we plan our day, and that's how we have to go on and on and on.
Yeah,
Great. I'm just so happy. It just gives me so much joy when I find somebody also who respects time as much. Um,
yeah.
so
How's the day
I
going?
can see people are already joining in. So before people join in, I would like to tell everybody if they have any questions for Rishabh or if they have any questions for us, please just drop in over here and we'll address them at the end of the conversation. Uh,
Yeah,
we'll try to keep it as, like I said yesterday when we were discussing, we'll try to keep it as to the point. But when we are health professionals and we are speaking about something that we are so passionate about, it's but obvious that we can go on and on.
yeah,
And we'll try to keep it as easy as it is for people to consume it.
yeah.
So without wasting too much time, sir, please tell us what is it that you do and why do you do it?
So I am a nutritionist. For everybody who follows me already knows.
Yes.
For your followers, I am a nutritionist. I've been in this industry for about 7 years now. Worked with almost 1,250, 1,300 people by now. Specialized in early age metabolic issues, early age hormonal issues, genetic issues, and things like that. My specialization is in female physiology and female psychology. So that's what I do day in and day out. I'm also an author. I've written a book on sustainable dieting and holistic health, which I'm very proud about. And yeah, that's what I do.
What got you to doing this? I mean, I know that you what you just described that this is what I do. इसके आगे भी comma लगेगा and you'll be doing more things because you are just like me. You're a restless soul and you want to do more and
Yeah,
more so that you can help more people and you can give them information how they can improve their lives because once you understand how simple those small lifestyle changes are, you want everybody to do
yeah,
it, right? So
yeah, yeah.
what got you? What got you? What was your moment that made you decide that आपको ये करना है?
मेरे को ये करना है is I was very athletic since childhood. Like I was into sports, I was into fitness and things like that since childhood. Genetically as well. My dad got me into sports and all. But when I started learning a little bit about nutrition, health and all 7, 8 years ago, there was a lot of junk content out there. Like there were 4, 5 people who dominated the YouTube industry and things like that in India, and then I wouldn't know who to believe, what, like, who's right, who's wrong. Everybody had different views and things like that. So one day I just thought, like, I'm not going to consume all of this content because it's not getting me anywhere. Let me, like, theoretically go through the process of becoming a nutritionist myself. Like, let me study it properly, the science behind all of those things. And then I never knew I'm going to be dealing with clients. I never knew this is going to be my profession ever. I just did my certifications from my knowledge. Like I never even thought that I'll create an Insta page, I'll put content things. People start putting content now and then they do certifications later these days. I just did it for the sake of my knowledge and for my transformation, things like that. And one random day, I just made this page was not made with an intent to even get clients at any point. I just started putting out content for people and things like that, whatever I'm learning and all. And then my friends started approaching me that we want to work with you and things like that. I just thought like, let me give it a shot. And then we pulled off 5, 7, 10 good transformations back in 2018. And then we started getting leads and all. I thought, let me just carry it forward. So it's today where we are.
Superb. And what influenced you? What made you like kind of motivated? What got you motivated to write this book?
For the book, I'll tell you what. Um, I am someone who loves long form content. If somebody asks me a question, let's say if I have to make a reel, I find it really difficult to answer it in 10, 15 seconds. I really struggle with that. So I just started, and I always had a thing for writing. I was also in an acting school at one point, where I also used to write scripts and also I was a script writer.
Okay.
So I loved writing something, or like मेरे को बहुत शौक है कुछ लिखने का. And then since then, my energies of writing were not channelized in any way. I wanted a way to like express myself. So I just started writing on, let's say, I created a list of 50 most asked questions to me ever, and to any dietitian ever, whatever like people's 50 biggest struggles are when it comes to weight loss. And then I just started writing.
प्रोटीन
And
कौन सा लेना चाहिए?
not these kind of things, but then actual like scientific things about
Yeah.
metabolism, about hormones, about like what happens inside the body and things like that. So I just started writing it, and then started doing some research on that. 2 years I like went through at least 1,000 meta-analysis, randomized controlled trials, and just trying to upgrade my own knowledge. And then I started posting them as blogs on my website.
Okay.
Never thought that again I'm going to be writing a book with all of this information. I started writing these blogs, and one day I just met a couple of friends who've written books, who were authors. They told me about the process of writing a book, and you should like convert this into a book and things like that. And I started finding publishers, good publishers in the country, and then came across Notion Press, who's like one of the best in India. And then they guided me through and through as to how I can like make use of all of this information, convert it into chapters, add some experience, personal experience, add researches to this, and then further convert it into stories and something which is interesting for people to read. And I really loved that journey. It took me about 7 8 months to write it, but then it just happened. I never manifested it. Like I never manifested becoming a health coach myself. It just happened, and then the process was super good. I really enjoyed doing it. Used to sit all nights and start writing. I never got bored doing it, and then we published the book in Jan this year.
And your book is called A Nutritionist in You.
Yeah, a nutrition.
Okay. So how did you come up with the title?
The title is basically, the book is around empowering people to take charge of their own health. I like educating, I like mentoring people a lot, and I want everybody to have at least basic knowledge about nutrition, about their own health, so that they can take charge and take care of their health by themselves.
Correct.
So, if you read this book, my goal is to make you a nutritionist for yourself at the end of it. If you go through the 300 pages, at the end of it, you'll feel like you've done a diploma in nutrition. You know everything about personalized nutrition. So this book is a path to find a nutritionist in yourself. So you don't have to rely on XYZ forever.
Wow. And also, I think one major part that I wanted to speak to you about, and what I really advocate at Fit also, is flexible dieting. And your book also does speak a lot about it. So
Yeah.
for all the viewers over here, all the people who are joining in and who will probably see this later, can you explain the concept of flexible dieting? Because a lot of people have it wrong. Like I know,
Yeah.
like how we were
Yeah.
discussing yesterday, people do it the other way. They'll eat 20% of the healthy stuff and 80% of the junk. So can you like explain it, please, in your words?
So flexible dieting for me is again a very empowering process in itself. It gives people choice to choose their own kind of foods, to choose their own kind of activity, to choose what they enjoy eating and doing, and lose weight side by the same thing. Of course, flexible dieting does not mean eating junk all the time, like we discussed yesterday. It is definitely has a delicate balance of an 80-20, 80% healthy, 20% treats as well. However, when we work with our clients and otherwise as well, we try to understand their taste buds, their likes and dislikes,
Yeah.
their food environment, even their family food environment. What do your parents like eating? What do your kids like eating? What does your brother and sisters like eating? What do you eat when you go out on the weekends? What do you eat when you're on vacations, weddings, festivals? And we try to understand their taste buds, their caloric intake, how their body is responding based of all the food they're eating, based of their food environment, and make their nutrition plans in a smarter way using all of these flexible food items. It does not have to be very restrictive. Like I've never made a nutrition plan that says no sugar, no oils, no this, no ghee, no this and that. We try to understand everything, and उसी में से हम solutions निकालते हैं flexibly.
Okay. So, like how you said something very, very important, right? I mean, a lot of people nowadays are scared about consuming too much sugar, or scared about consuming sugar. Like they have demonized sugar, they have demonized
Yeah.
gluten, they have demonized dairy as well. What's your take on it? How, like, why should someone, who should actually be scared of something like gluten or sugar or dairy?
The
or
people,
cautious about consuming it, not scared, because I don't think anybody
yeah,
should be scared of food. It's
nobody
food.
should be scared of it.
Yeah.
Who should be conscious? People who are gluten intolerant, actually. Like it is clinically proven that you are gluten intolerant. You go to a gastrologist, you get your gut test done, you understand gluten is not suiting me well. Let's say you have a lot of gluten rich foods, you get acne, you get gut issues, you get IBS, you understand this ingredient is not working well for me, you get immediate stomach aches, acidity, acid reflux, and things like that. You visit a gastrologist and he does your test and tells you you have a celiac disease, which is gluten intolerance. Similarly to dairy, if you have any outbreaks after dairy, you have digestion issues, you have skin issues, and things like that. Only then you need to be conscious about it. Otherwise, I believe the whole gluten-free, sugar-free, dairy-free industry is a very highly marketed industry to promote certain products that people think are healthier. If it's gluten free, it's dairy free, it's sugar free, doesn't mean it's healthier in any way than a gluten product. Gluten in itself is a whole grain. It's a very healthy product by itself. So it's more I believe it's more of a marketing gimmick than an actual problem with many people. Though of course there are people who are gluten intolerant. My dad has been clinically proven as a gluten intolerant
Yeah,
40
like
years ago when
celiac
nobody even
disease
knew
or something like that.
celiac.
I mean, obviously.
Exactly, celiac disease when nobody even knew this word celiac and gluten. So he actually has an issue where he cannot actually digest anything based out of gluten.
Okay.
So until and unless a doctor doesn't prove it and you don't have any symptoms, you don't really need to be scared about it. Or I believe it's 80% marketing and 20% actual real problems with gluten and dairy.
And another thing that's kind of like thrown about a lot, like I see people rejoicing a lot when they've given up sugar. They're like, you know what, I've given up sugar, and because I've given up sugar, I've dropped so much weight. And my only response to them is that you give up any food that you consume quite a bit. आप कुछ भी give up कर दोगे तो automatically कम calories खा रहे हो.
Yeah.
So sugar was never the problem. And then usually their ideology about sugar is a mixture of sugar and fats. You know, a dessert or maybe
Yeah.
in बोलो ने dessert chocolate खाना बंद कर दिया. So they think that sugar is the problem, but it's actually the habit or the combination of foods.
Not only that, sugar is not the problem. Excessive calories coming from excessive amounts of sugar is the problem. People would usually stop having sugar in their teas, coffees, and things like that, but side by side would still continue having their ice cream, donuts, waffles, desserts, chocolates, mithai, and that. So the 1 tablespoon of sugar in your tea, coffee will never do anything wrong to you.
Yeah.
The heaps of sugar that comes in your ice cream, 6 spoons of sugar in your chocolate, 10 spoons of sugar in your Coke can, and things like that, is the bigger problem. So excessive calories coming from sugary food and sugar and fat together is the biggest blunder. We would say people demonize carbs, but carbs and fats as a combination in certain things like ice creams, Indian mithai, sweets, and all comes with heaps of calories. That's the bigger
Right.
problem, I believe.
Yeah. Like usually this is the people who demonize or kind of try to abstain from certain foods are the people who are struggling with weight
Yeah.
loss. You don't have anybody who's struggling with weight gain or muscle gain who actually comes and says that, you know, I'm not having sugar. So what are the common misconceptions that you come across or you've actually addressed in your book around weight loss?
I'll tell you what, not only in my book, otherwise as well, I'm sure you'll be able to relate to this. The biggest misconception is around the word metabolism. It is a low hanging fruit that people just like to blame for their own inactivity, for overconsumption of calories, and a sedentary lifestyle, and not a good, healthy lifestyle, I would say. I have a weak digestion. I have a that means I have a slow metabolism. If I cannot reduce weight, that means I have a slow metabolism. I don't feel energetic in the morning, that means I have a slow metabolism. I tried gymming for 3 weeks. I only lost 2 kilos. I have a weak metabolism. So metabolism as a word is being tossed around in so many wrong ways. Whenever somebody says I have a slow metabolism, my next question is tell me what metabolism is. Like explain it to me. How did you come up like how did you conclude that you have a slow metabolism? The biggest misconception is about people not knowing where they're going wrong and just blaming something that they don't even know about. Forget about the carbs at night, forget about the ketos and the intermittent fastings and the detox diets and things like that. basic understanding of nutrition is a misconception in itself, and basic understanding of how the body works in terms of weight gain, weight loss, the law of thermodynamics is a misconception itself. People
Correct.
think like doing more is better. Like we would replace everything with healthier snacks. We will do hours of cardio. We'll do this. We'll switch to brown rice. We'll switch to sugar-free ice cream. But more is not always better. I think simple is better than saying more is better. And then just using the word metabolism here and there for as an excuse for lack of effort is like something which I really find funny in
I,
many
I
cases.
I think metabolism is a lazy person's excuse because
Yeah.
scientifically it's proven your metabolism actually starts declining after the age of 60.
Hmm.
What happens is that yeah, obviously we get a little tired and we start using a lot of calories that we consume as we start growing older with our brain. I mean, the brain uses a lot of glucose, and because we are exposed to more stresses and because we are exposed to a whole life, a complete life after the age of 30, 40, that's when we start
Yeah.
consuming a lot of calories and we get tired. And because we get
Yeah.
tired, we move lesser.
Yeah.
Your metabolism
Yeah.
is still the same.
And then eating more is also accompanied with all the stressors, all the feeling of tiredness and things like that. So people need to understand that they're over consuming and under moving, and it's not really a metabolism thing.
Yeah, yeah, like seriously addressing that, like I really wish humans work like algorithms. I really wish it would make my work so much easier. Okay, I've given them a diet plan, I've given them a workout plan, and they're going to follow it. But unfortunately or fortunately, humans are exposed to emotions and feelings, and a lot of emotions dictate, or our environment dictates of what we eat and how much we
Yeah.
eat. So although we are going to
Yeah.
give a banging diet plan, but the client's compliance matters the most, and how easy it is for the client to follow it.
Yeah.
Uh, and it gets difficult. I understand that. But what I really appreciate is when clients are brutally honest with me and tell me that, यार मैंने खा लिया,
Yeah.
मुझसे नहीं हो रहा है, I'm facing this issue. I think that makes my job easier, and that will make your job easier too, right?
We to even tell our clients on our initial consultation, like be 100% transparent with me. You've had 10 drinks, come and tell me, Rishabh, I had 10 drinks. You had like a pizza yesterday, you had a butter chicken and ice cream yesterday. Come and tell me I had a butter chicken and ice cream. I will help you. But at least be transparent and open with us so we can find possible solutions. The best transformations we see on Instagram are the people who are the most honest with themselves and their trainers or their coaches or dietitians, whatever. They own up to their own efforts. So we to ask them for like you can create the best nutrition plan in the world. Like you can hire the best trainer in the world, but if you're not compliant to it and you're not like completely into it, you will never transform.
Yeah. In your experience with clients, uh, how important do you think it is to, or what tools that you use to converse with your clients to gain that trust, or get them to be invested into their entire journey? Because a lot of people want to do it, but at a superficial level. But to get them
Yeah,
to be like really invested, what tools do you use? How do you converse with them?
I work a lot around human psychology, understanding why people actually want to lose those 20 kilos. How will it actually make them feel? What is your biggest motivating factor? Why do you want to do that sacrifice when all the good things are around you? Why do you want to say a no to it? And at the end of it, let's say you come down from 110 to an 80 kilo, what is the feeling that you're chasing? People are not usually chasing a physique, they're chasing a feeling.
Yeah,
I want to feel a certain way. I want to look good in my clothes. I want to feel confident. I want to go out in public and like express myself fully without thinking that I'm looking a certain way. So I understand their psychology around food as well. Like, why do you overconsume food at certain points? Like, is it hormones? Is it habitual hunger? Is it your family environment? Is it because you're bored? You have food as your best friend. So understanding their psychology, their mindset around why they are a certain weight is also very important. What drives them the most? Why are you actually taking this decision? Investing some time, money, and effort. Why do you actually want to do that? And how are you actually trying to drive value out of it?
yeah.
And then we understand their psychology a lot and then keep mentoring them based of that.
Wow, lovely,
Yeah.
perfect. So also I wanted to know, like, I mean, you've been blessed, and you've been blessed with like so many clients, and a large variety, a different set of clients from different professions, and most of them
Yeah.
have, some of them have been like A-lister celebrities also. So how does your approach towards celebrities be, like change? Does it change, or do you like have the similar kind of approach, because their lifestyle is also sometimes a little more glamorous. They're exposed to more social interactions,
Yeah.
where they could consume foods which are higher in calories or maybe alcohol or stuff like that. So how do you
Yeah.
navigate those issues?
See, a human body is a human body, regardless what the profession of a person is. Everybody is a celebrity in itself. You're a celebrity. Everybody is a celebrity in itself. So we need to understand that. However, their lives can be different than many other many other people, I would say. They're mostly very stimulated around people who are very sugar coated around them, and then celebrities are invited everywhere. They have a lot of social outings, and then they need to keep up with the networking and things like that. And side by side, also look a certain way all year round. So it definitely is a challenge. It we need. I always tell them that all of this will come with a certain degree of sacrifice. You can't do this and this and this and this and this and still maintain a six pack forever. So you need to understand what your top priorities are. My top priority is my career, my work, my social life, my health. Like, what is your top priority and why do you want to do it? And all of this will come with a certain degree of sacrifice and patience. If you're saying no to that third drink or a fourth drink, you should know why you're saying no to that third or fourth drink. I need to look good in my shoot tomorrow, or I have something that I need to be on camera for, and I need a crisp jawline, or I need like a shredded physique, or something like that. So one needs to understand that there will be a certain degree of sacrifice involved always, and then it's a long haul journey. Taking care of your health is a lifelong journey. It's not a 1 month, 2 month, 3 month process. People who we idolize, let's say in terms of physiques, like a Hrithik Roshan or a John Abraham or a Katrina Kaif or a Shahid Kapoor. You've worked with Shahid Kapoor in the past. You understand how many sacrifices they go under, and then you can't achieve all the things at one point.
I have actually learned more from celebrities, because people think that they have such glamorous life, but the ones that you just named, when I've worked with them or when I've interacted with them, I've learned so much more in terms of their dedication
Yeah,
towards their health. And
yeah,
it from the outside it looks like they are living a very glamorous life,
glamorous.
but
Yeah,
their routine, when from the time they wake up to their yoga, to their kriyas, to their training, to their food, the
yeah, yeah.
amount of the awareness that they have in terms of kitni masala dalna hai, kya khana hai, uh,
Everybody
like
has a team. Yeah,
exactly. And also, yaar, Rishabh, the thing is that what what we see that, okay, I want a six pack, or let's say that I get a client and that client is going to be like, yeah, मुझे six pack चाहिए. The minute they get aware of the sacrifices, and they're
yeah.
like, okay, the trade-offs are so much, and this is what I have to give up, this is what I give up, and then suddenly they're like, you know what, I'm okay with a flat stomach also, and that's what they realize, that because of their life and their overall social commitments, personal commitments, professional commitments, they actually don't need a six pack. Like six
Yeah.
pack, like even you would know it, when you are at that low body fat percentage, how do you feel internally?
It's good and bad both. It looks good, but it doesn't feel the best. Like, I feel my best when I am around, let's say, 12, 13% body fat, 13, 14% body fat, like a kind of a four pack kind of physique, like where my abs are slightly visible in
सुबह
the morning and gone by
दिखते
the
हैं, बाद में
evening.
नहीं दिखते.
That's what I'm saying. But that's the best feeling, between 12 to 15%. Six pack is a very tough thing to maintain. Like, you really have to be on point with everything. You just can't afford an off day. You hardly can consume any carbs and things like that. So it looks good on camera, but inside, a 12 to 15% body fat is better.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
maintenance, for living a complete life,
for
enjoying
maintaining.
time with your friends, enjoying time with your
Yeah,
boys,
even
doing
living a peaceful
everything.
life. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's what I also tell my clients when they say that, no, you know what, मुझे एक बार लाइफ में ये करना है. I was like, ठीक है, एक बार कर लेंगे, और उसके लिए आप जी जान लगा लोगे, you will give everything, but after that it's like, I know you want to achieve it once and you want to show that picture to everybody, but what after that? Like, think about life after that. How are you going to get all that?
I tell them, let's do it, no problem, and then click as many pictures as you can during that 15-20 days when yours is super crisp, and then just roll it over all year round and stay around 12-15%. Like,
Yeah.
maybe you want to come down to that physique once a year and keep it on for a month or so, unless you have a certain reason. Let's say we recently onboarded a Miss India contestant and a Mrs. India contestant who are like contesting right now
Okay.
in Bombay. So for them, it's very important to be in that shape all year round. Super,
Yep.
super important because their
Yep.
profession is that way. And then we tell them that it will come with a certain degree of saying no to your social life and things like that. And this is how you're going to feel. And we can only make you feel better. We can't make you feel your best. So, obviously, nutrition, rest, recovery, your lifestyle, sleep, hydration, supplementation, everything has its role. And we can optimize how you feel about
Right.
yourself. But be ready that if you want to win that Miss India and you want to stay in that super lean zero physique all year round, that this will be certain things that you'll have to be ready for.
Yeah. Yeah, and that usually if the why is big enough, like your career
Yeah.
or something like that, that's only
Yeah.
when you would probably sustain that.
And
Otherwise,
then nothing matters, like nothing even bothers you. Even if there are like 100 desert pieces in front of you, you'll not feel like eating. And when you know it's your show tomorrow, it's your shoot tomorrow, and things like that, then everything just happens. Again, psychology. Why do you want it? How badly do you want it?
so as a nutrition coach, what do you think that could really hamper the progress, or in terms of like why do a lot of athletes promote eating like really clean food, boiled food, salt-free food, and why do usually people who start their health and fitness journey go on to eating either boiled rice or that typical bodybuilder meal prep kind of situation where the meat is boiled and barely seasoned and or boiled vegetables and boiled rice. Why do you think that that is required?
Lack of education, I believe. Uh, so that is the biggest thing, and that's the biggest problem we're trying to solve in the industry
Correct.
by educating about flexible dieting. If you are smart about your nutrition, you learn the science behind nutrition, how it works for your body, you can actually eat in a much more flexible and varied way. Uh, no sugar, no salt, no oil. And again, it's a way to simplify the process, but I don't believe it's sustainable enough. You can do it for a little while before your competition and things. Like I work with a couple of athletes as well, Paralympic athletes, who are going to perform next week for Paralympics. Like after Olympics, Paralympics always
Wow.
come, and even
Great
Commonwealth
stuff,
and things
sir.
like that. Yeah. So for them, these kind of things have to happen before their show because they have to be under a certain weight range, they have to be in a certain physique,
Yeah.
and things like that. So for them, it works for a little while. Otherwise, all year round, they are also flexibly dieting only. But at a certain point, then we have to reduce, salt and sugars and oils to have a crisp physique and things like that.
Lovely. Lovely.
Yeah.
I think you couldn't have said it better. Like, I mean, lack of education is one thing that we try to do, and every time I think even you must be doing the same thing. Every time you get a client, everybody's at a different stage of awareness with nutrition. So I really wish I could have this one specific course, and every time somebody signs up and we assign them to that course and you start. But everybody has such varying questions every time they
Yeah.
start. You have to like literally formulate a course for them when you're
Yeah.
working with your client, right? So you have to like,
You know, when people say I can't lose weight because I don't think I can stick to a diet, I ask them, what do you mean by sticking to a diet?
yeah,
And then they say exactly what you said, that for them a diet means like a very restrictive, strict kind of regime where they can't have their burgers, they can't have chapatis, and they can't have their rice and things. They have to go salt free and oil free and sugar free and all of these things. I said, no, that is not dieting. Dieting is just eating normally. You're eating so much junk that eating normally is called dieting.
yeah.
All you have to do is simplify your food. That's it. That's all dieting is all about.
Yeah, absolutely. What I see is a lot of people now, in at least in India, in the West cities or Western countries, yes, obviously they've been doing that since a very long time. I think from the 90s or early 2000s. But a lot of people over here in India are also practicing that. But are there any accounts for all the people who are following? Are there any accounts on Instagram that you like following, or any people that you like following?
I follow very limited people. Of course, you are one of them. I love people who promote flexible dieting, the same ideology as mine. More than Indian coaches, I follow foreign coaches. I like Alan Aragon. I like Dr. Naldowski. I like Lane Norton. Um, I like Heather Robertson. In India, I really like trained by YVS Yashwardhan Swami, who's also my mentor.
Okay.
And there are two, three the other people, Sumit and things like that. Drew, of course, I do follow Drew. Chalo, niche chalo. Sorry, my pug is coming in the live.
Who's that? Get that.
Um,
Who is it?
that's my pug. He is always
Oh.
in between all my meetings. Like there is no meeting that he doesn't jump into. I don't know what happens. Yeah. So there are a few people that I do follow. In India, it's again YVS, it's Shivoham, it's you, it's Drew, and then a couple of coach friends of mine, Sumit and everybody. They are doing good work. But then there are a lot of junk content also in India. But it's our responsibility to follow good people and then ensure that we are also keeping the standard of content high and educating people in the right way. So we should like our profile should be our best profile. Like whose profile do you look up to? It should be your profile.
Yeah. Yeah, but I face a similar issue that you said at the start of the conversation, that when we are trying to create any content on a specific topic, because of how much we want to say on that specific thing, and because of the algorithm just allowing the engagement to be for 30 seconds, how to
Yeah.
position that or how to say it is something that I'm struggling with big time. And I keep having this back and forth with my social media team where they're like, you need to speak lesser, you speak too much, and then I speak
Yeah.
too fast because I have to speak so much in such
Yeah.
little time.
Yeah.
But it's very difficult to create content if you're trying to speak what actually
Yeah.
works. And then people
Yeah.
want to find quick solutions, or people want to find something that some secret sauce, that
Yeah.
this nobody has got, and this is what will suddenly work for everybody.
Yeah.
So my team said that, why don't you come up with something like that? We avoid these five
Quick.
foods or do this.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. That's
I'm
why
not
I'm
going
like
to bite on that.
I'm even thinking of moving more on YouTube where people are mentally ready to consume long form content and things. I love the podcasting space, is why I've even started doing it
Yeah.
I did it with a couple of people last week. I need an opportunity to express myself fully in my way. And that was also the reason for my book. Like I wanted an opportunity to express myself. All that is there in my head, I wanted to put it out there in some way or the other. And then book really helped me. And then like it made me feel fulfilled that like I have put out everything I know in a piece of content, and somebody reads it 5 years down the line, somebody consumes it 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, will be able to relate to it. Like with the current set of content and trends, it's like you consume a content and you forget about it tomorrow. And then tomorrow you consume a new content, you forget about it day after. There's so much content out there.
Yeah.
So the purpose is to like create content that leaves an impact long term. And because of lack of time on Instagram that the algorithm provides, I believe YouTube is a better space for people like us. And I think I'm gonna gradually move more into the YouTube space anyway now.
That's a good idea. That's a great idea, actually. So now that you've got a settled business, and obviously you want to grow and obviously you want it to grow again and again, and that you have a book also out. What's the next step? What's next on your to-do list?
Though the next thing, we're actually working on it already. I'm trying to gradually shift towards health tech as an industry. We're working on an application with a Canadian-based tech company. Like it's, let's say, a combination of a Healthify Me and the Apple Health app.
Oh,
In an Apple Health app, you can like see your activity, your flights climbed, and things like that, calories burned, and things like that. In Healthify Me, you can do your food logs and all. So it's a combination of both things where you can track your physical activity, your food, and even things related to your medical, your appointments, your medicines, and your things like that, your heart rates and all of those things. So it's a combination of all three things into we want to create a one-stop solution for everything. Let's say if you were to ask your client to send me your logs, they will send you their steps from the health app, and then they will log the food in Healthify Me. And it's like two apps at one point,
yeah,
now,
yeah.
and then everybody has a medical app and things like that as well nowadays. So we're trying to create a three-in-one thing, which is like about a year's project. We've already started on it. We will start having prototypes from September, October, and then we'll start rolling it out phase by phase. By around this time next year, it should be out.
Oh, that'll be great. And if you guys are like open to white label, allowing others to white label it, then I'm definitely going to be one of your most loyal customers. Like I did indulge in the idea of creating our own application, but like I'm not a tech guy, and it's not something that I
Yeah,
really find a lot of interest in. And there's so many different apps
yeah,
out there. I
yeah,
just
yeah,
thought that I'm using a lot of my time. I didn't have a business partner, so I was like, I will not be able to practice. So it's a great
yeah,
initiative. I think there is definitely a need for it.
yeah.
100% there's a need for it. Instead of using two, three different apps to report, it'll make life for a health coach and the client a lot more easier, for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. I believe whatever gets tracked gets improved. If you're tracking something, tracking your food, it'll definitely improve over time. Even if you don't even ask your clients to like improve XYZ thing, they will themselves do it
Yeah,
because it creates awareness. If they're tracking their steps and their Apple Watch says it's 8,600 steps, they will themselves want to hit that 10K number. If they
yeah,
don't track it, they will never hit that 10K number. They will just do whatever they can. So whatever gets tracked gets improved by itself. And then I really love how I really support the fact when health and tracking come in side by side. Let's say if you never check your blood glucose levels in the morning, you'll never be able to avoid sweets. मेरे को पता ही नहीं मेरी sugar high है, मैं क्यों छोड़ूं, मैं क्यों मीठा ना खाऊं.
correct.
If you never check your blood pressure, you'll never be able to avoid fried. So whatever gets tracked gets improved. Is ना, let's say we go get tested, हम vitamin D देखते हैं हमारा low है, तभी हम vitamin D के shots लेते हैं. तो वो भी
Correct.
एक part of testing ही है. तो lab test जैसे बहुत ज़्यादा rapidly expanding है after COVID. I think uh, health tracking in terms of your food and physical activity should also become like something which people do on a regular basis.
Yeah. Do you like, while we're on the subject, do you get clients who are afraid to take their blood samples or check their weight, or they're like, no, I don't want to check my blood because कुछ आ गया तो.
हाँ, होते हैं. People are scared at some point. Like again, I just tell them it's an awareness exercise. ये कोई report card नहीं है स्कूल का कि डांट पड़ेगी यहाँ पे इतने मार्क्स कम क्यों है. It's an awareness exercise. You're just seeing what is inside you. People are scared at some point, but then we try to convince them. Whoever gets convinced, of course. Whoever doesn't, then it's up to them. But it's good. One should be aware what's going on inside your body.
Absolutely, it's a matter of fact. And once, like how you said, till you don't track it, you will not actually take the right action on it. So,
Yeah.
for all those who like get scared to check their blood markers, or check their weight, or check their waist, just track what they're doing.
Yeah.
They would not be aware. But at the same time, it's a very fine balance, because I do also come across a lot of people who are on the other side of the spectrum, who check
To track too much.
everything obsessively.
Yeah, yeah. Checking your
Yeah.
weight every morning and evening and
Yeah,
things like
so
that.
like not just checking your weight, but also checking your heart rate, checking your steps, checking, putting a
Calories
CGM,
burn,
like,
CGM.
yeah, everything. So how do you advise, how do you get them to like chill out a little bit?
It depends. If it's actually motivating you, then it's great. If it's creating a sense of awareness, you're looking at trends and you're not getting demotivated when the numbers don't move, then it's fine for people to even check your weight on a daily basis. If people who are process oriented, it's fine. But people who get finicky, you just have to ask them to not do it. Like it's not healthy for you and not healthy for your journey. If you get demotivated too fast, let's say 3 days I did a caloric deficit of 500, but I didn't lose weight, we know that it's going to show up someday or the other. Not the third day, not the fourth day, not the fifth day. Seventh day, you will wake up 1 kilo lighter. But if it's screwing up inside you that it's been 3 days, I haven't lost weight, then you need to like calm it down, keep it away for a week, check it once a week, and things like that. If you're using it for positive things, in positive ways, then it's great. It totally depends, like, what are you doing it for?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. So I think we've spoken about so much. Like I want to have a deeper conversation with you, but we'll do that in person, like how we discussed.
Yeah.
But before signing off, is there some message that you would want to give out to the people who are watching or who would watch it later?
I would just want people to be more nutritionally educated, understand basics of nutrition, understand basics of health, and start taking forward steps towards it. Taking care of your health is a lifelong journey. Don't take it like a 1 month, 2 month, 3 month stint that I want to try it out. I want to do it for 15 days and things like that. Just do something or the other side by side. Everything can be balanced. Your health is in your hands. The corporate culture, the hustle bustle, the stresses, nobody will ask you to do it. You just have to do it by yourself. And that's what my book and everything, and when we mentor, it's all about empowering people to do things by themselves, take steps towards your health by yourself. It's changing. The fitness and health culture is definitely improving in India. Like it's really going up. People are more engaged. People are more committed. People want to do things, especially after COVID. It's showing a good forward positive trend, upward trend. And I just want more and more people to empower themselves and take charge of taking care of their health themselves.
Perfect. We've got a couple of questions. Like if anybody else has a few questions, you can ask. What is your diet, and uh, if you want to share your diet, and also probably you can follow that up with what is the best diet for anybody? Because I know what you would say for that.
Yeah, yeah. I exactly eat what I preach. Honestly, I am a huge advocate of flexible and sustainable dieting. That's what I do for myself all year round. Regardless, I'm bulking, maintaining, cutting down. I'm 10% body fat. I'm 20% body fat. I eat what my family eats in a smarter way. If I need to cut down weight, I will just start tracking, cut down on the unnecessary processed food, cut down on the high calorie foods and things like that, and just eat like normal people. I have a huge social circle. I like eat and drink everything, but then in a smarter way. I know my priorities. I know where to put a full stop. I know where to control my portions. I know where to cover up if I had a heavy meal and things like that. So I just eat whatever other people eat in my house. There are no special meals made for me ever. Like whatever everybody eats, I eat. But my portions are different, their portions are different because their priorities are different. Mine is different. My physical activity is different. Theirs is different. I exercise more often. I know I can burn this off. And it's just like that, like proper homemade food.
Uh, since we spoke about exercise, how important is muscle building for women or anybody?
Very, very important. There is actually a chapter on this in my book. Uh, if there was one form of exercise, let's say if you would ask me like if there is a one form of exercise that I can promote to anybody without having like any downsides of it, it'll be muscle building. It'll be strength training.
Yeah,
Everybody of every age, gender, and health issue should be training, doing some form of strength training. It is very important for your hormonal health, very important for your metabolism. Muscle is metabolically more faster than fat. It burns more calories at rest. Every kilo of muscle you gain, you burn another 20 to 30 calories at rest. You gain 5 kilos muscle, you're burning another 150 calories. So why are you cutting down those 150 calories from your food? Build 5 kilos of muscle. Your job is done, and then you look more jacked, you look better, you're more shapeful. For women, women are usually chasing that hourglass kind of physique and that like thin waist and things like that. And the women that you look up to, that you idolize, are the women who actually lift weights. So lifting weights is very important to enhance your natural contours, to build muscle for your hormonal health and things like that. Also builds a sense of discipline and builds a sense of uh, going forward, progressively improving your body and things like that. And like every inch of muscle you gain is a very motivating factor in itself. You want to do more when that chest shape comes, you want to do more. When the bicep pops out, you want to do more. When the back looks good, you want to do more. So it keeps on pushing you to do more and more and more and more. Cardio is not very motivating in itself. Like nobody wants to do extra cardio just because it is like it looks good or it'll give me something extra. Just do it because you have to do it. But then muscle building changes your physique in a way which is very motivating for you to do more and more each time as well.
absolutely. And that's what's most important. I mean, a question that I get, or probably a comment that I get quite often is when I promote strength training in women, they say that I don't want to look bulky. And
Yeah,
usually what I tell them is that you're not going to look bulky. I mean, gaining mass is a function of how many calories you ingest and
yeah,
what kind of hypertrophy training that you actually do. If you just
yeah,
train for strength and you eat at a maintenance or a deficit, then you will not get bulky. You'll actually get stronger. I'm
yeah.
getting a lot of questions from Charming Desert Rose. Do you eat roti, rice? Your answers are vague. I'm going to answer it on your behalf, Rishabh. Yes, he eats roti, rice, parathas. He eats everything. That's what he said. That he eats everything that his family eats. Obviously, the intent is that you understand the balance, and you can understand that balance by probably reading his book. So invest in his book. You'll understand how you can eat everything, not be afraid of anything, and still lose weight. You don't have to give up on any foods to lose weight. It's very simple. You can probably just eat 3 or 4 meals in a day, and with that you can drop weight. You can maintain that entire thing for the rest of your life. The only diet that you need to do is what works for you.
Yeah, exactly. Understand what your appetite is, understand what your calorie intake is, track it, see where your numbers are. Are you at maintenance? Are you at surplus? Are you at deficit? If you are at surplus, how much surplus? Understand your activity, understand your BMR, metabolism, and all. And then just start eating smartly. Cut down on the unnecessary stuff. I this morning I had a paneer paratha. I had whatever my family had in lunch. I had a palak paneer and roti. So I do have all the rice, rotis, and all of these things. It's just that I don't consume too many processed foods. I don't consume too much like the samosas and the jalebis and the mithais and things like that. Of course, I do have my fair share of enjoying those foods as well. I'm a huge fan of cheesecake and things like that. When I have that like leeway, when I know I'm gaining or I'm maintaining and I have that margin, I do enjoy my fair share of couple drinks, a fair share of good food and things like that. So that's not a problem. Life is not meant to be like we're not meant to diet forever now. You need to understand that balance and stay at that balance and understand your priorities. You want to get in shape for 2 months and then maintain
Yeah,
it. Be like yeah, empowered enough to maintain it by yourself as well.
100%, 100%. Perfect. This was great. Thank you so much, sir, for your time.
So good.
I'm going to like charming desert rose. If you have more questions, please do drop us a DM, and we definitely take it up. Or you can obviously book a consult with sir or me or whatever you feel like. We are here to
Yeah,
help you all. Your questions do seem a little specific, and don't worry. Even if you're a mother or you don't have the time, we'll help you. We'll figure out a way for you to get fit and healthy because
yeah,
what would work for you would not work for somebody else. What would work for me would not work for you.
exactly.
But we'll find a way out for you. And the
Yeah,
same thing for everybody else who's joined in over here.
yeah.
Again, thank you so much, sir, for giving us your time, speaking to us
Thank you so
about
much,
your
Pratik.
book. I'm going to encourage everybody to invest. Is your book available on Amazon?
It is. Yes, it is.
Perfect. So I'm going to encourage everybody to go on Amazon and buy the book by Rishabh, that's a nutritionist in you, and understand how you can live your life without being dependent on a piece of paper. Right? That's a
Yeah,
diet plan.
exactly.
Yeah. Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect. Amazing. Thank you so much for having me, and we'll look forward to meet you super soon on your podcast.
Done, sir. Perfect. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
All right. Bye
Thank you for
bye.
your time, Pratik. Take care. See you. Lovely.